and welcome back to the channel. There was a very disturbing report that was shared with me, and this is something that could affect everybody in the country. So this is one of those things we all want to pay attention to. Apparently there has been an increase in carjackings nationwide, not just in one area, but nationwide. And you can speculate as to the reasons why. I'm going to just tie it into what I think it is. People are getting desperate. They're not just getting desperate, but they're getting a little more froggy, if you know what I mean. Meaning they're feeling a little more comfortable doing things because they have an excuse that they can ride on and say, well, times are hard, times are rough, and so I need to do this and I need to do that. One thing that I noticed, they were saying that they would take one car. These carjackers would take one car and use it to block another car to take that one too. And so they're using cars that they are stealing, jacking from other people, to jack other vehicles as well. And so this is what they're saying. We haven't heard anything directly or haven't seen any specific news stories on this as far as there was a carjacking here or carjacking there. But for them to report that there's an increase in it, I would like to see some actual reports to know if they're not just, trying to spread fear, if you know what I mean. But even if, they're not trying to spread fear, and this is something that's actually happening, those of you who live in city areas, you would know more than those who live in a rural area if that's actually happening. Either way it goes, what I wanted to say was this: whether they're hyping this up or whether it's something that's actually happening, because times are getting rough, you can expect these kinds of things are going to happen. And so we definitely want to make sure that we're paying attention to our surroundings. When you go to a grocery store, you go to a convenience store, you go to a gas station, you want to make sure that you are handling your business and protecting what is yours, right? I did see an image that someone is circulating where this guy, he was at the gas pump, literally, and he had a nice shiny pistol down like this, right? Pointed downward, and his other hand on the gas thing where he was pumping his gas. And so this guy ain't playing. He means business. He's like, if you step up over here, things ain't gonna go down like what you're expecting. So there probably are areas where there is an increase in carjackings, right? With this news today that comes out, you're kind of leery on everything that comes out. But with the current environment that this country is in, I can most certainly see where something like this is definitely possible. That being said, when you're out and about, don't take things for granted. I don't care if you're familiar with the area, you're used to going to this particular store or gas station. Pay attention to your surroundings. Look around. If you see suspicious, sneaky looking people, if you see people who just look regular, you don't want to take things for granted, because the environment in this country and in the world has drastically changed. People are getting desperate and they are getting froggy. And so we don't want to be just out here living our lives like it was, I'm going to say 3 or 4 years ago, But, even with that, some people live in areas to where you have things that are constantly happening. So those of you who don't live in an area where you're constantly seeing those things, don't take it for granted, right? I'm from the city of Detroit. I was actually born in St. Louis, but lived the majority of my life in the city of Detroit. So we always had our heads on a swivel, whether we were catching the bus somewhere, walking, even catching the cab, we were paying attention to what we were doing, where we were going, and who was around us, you see. And so the same can be said for anywhere, any major city. But if you're in the country even, you still have to pay attention to what's going on, because who knows from one day to the next how desperate people are getting. And you don't want to find out the hard way that people have gotten so desperate to where they are willing to do things that they wouldn't normally do, right? Now, as far as carjacking goes, I think that's a crime of opportunity. A crime of opportunity. But you don't want to be a victim of a crime of opportunity because you are not paying attention. Be aware of the signs of the time. Be aware of people. Be aware of changing minds. But be aware of this also. I talk about this a lot. where I quote the scripture that says, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers of darkness of this world, principalities and spiritual wickedness in high and low places, right? And I quote that scripture because I want you to know that even though you might be encountering people who are doing things to other people, it is the demonic presence or these spirits that are convincing people to do these things. That's what I want you to keep in mind, is a demonic presence. People are being more and more subject, or becoming, should I say, more and more subject to demonic suggestion. Just anything that a spirit utters, they are doing, right? Folk are going out of their minds. And it's not just because of what's going on in the world, but because there is an increase in demonic activity. Anyway, my battery life is about to drain out. I just wanted to real briefly talk about this subject. Remember, in the comment section, I want to know your comments, but keep it tight and keep it right. But until next time. We hope you liked today's topic. Please leave your comments below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, share it, like this video, and with that, we're out. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.